sponsored by OMAZE. Spoiler alert, here's my nose. I know it's probably not in my best interest to show you the goods in the first minute of the video, but the point of this video is not necessarily to show you the before and after, which of course I'm going to include, come on, let's be real. But I also just want to show you the journey of the first month or mainly the first few weeks. They were so hard and difficult for a multitude of reasons, but I'm really just gonna show you the good, the bad, the ugly, the puffy, the swollen, it's gonna be a journey. It almost feels like a vlog. So if you are somebody who is considering rhinoplasty, I do highly recommend watching the full length of this video so you know exactly what you are getting yourself into. Of course, I would highly recommend my doctor, Kosins of Newport Beach, but that's just me. So strap in, because it's a doozy. All right, last look at my nose of the profile. This is what it used to be, and my chin, I guess. Gotta drink my pineapple juice because the enzyme is absolutely fantastic for swelling, but yeah, it's a lot. This is the ointment that I had to rub on my nose a few days prior to keep it sterile, and we're waking up at 4:30 because this is my last chance to take a shower, and I have to wash my hair with antibacterial soap because we'll be grafting cartilage from my temples. Goodbye, nose. So long. Hey, it was nippy in there, so stop looking, but here's the last view of my nose. Goodbye. Goodbye.
First case for Friday is a 27-year-old female. She's got a deviated wide nose, wide nostrils with flare. You can see the deviation, a dorsal hump, and a plunging tip. Here is the plan and a chin augmentation. Here we are at the beginning of surgery. You can see a deviated nose to the left, bulbous tip, wide bony base, hump, and wide nostrils with flare. Here we are at the end of surgery. Nose is straight, nose is narrow. Nice super tip break, good tip definition, and nostril flare gone.
Just got out of surgery. I asked them if I could stay in the recovery room for a little extra longer because anesthesia does make me feel very nauseated. But it went well. We did end up going with the teeny tiny chin implant. I know I originally said that I just wanted to go in just for the nose, but Dr. Kosins is chill as fuck. He did not charge me for the chin implant. He just genuinely thought that it would bring more facial harmony to my face and offered to do it for free while he was in there. So I trust him. I've got a sock filled with 2 gloves of ice on my head. It's called Fashion Baby. Deal with it. My throat is still very dry from being intubated. The procedure was about 3 hours, started at 7:30, finished at 10:30. I feel pressure in the nose and sinus area, not as much pain, it's just a cold pressure. And the chin area is tighter pressure, so slightly more pain there. So I'm on my way home because my lovely mom picked me up and is taking me home. Finally home. I don't feel great. Not pain, definitely pressure, but I just feel really swimmy. It is what it is. And it's probably because I haven't really eaten much since last night. Like I ate the potatoes in the car a little bit more when I got home, but just very easy to knock over, and so that's been the hardest part, I think. I should probably go to sleep. I only got 3 hours last night. I don't know if the surgery counted. General anesthesia induced sleep counts as but I did dream. Actually, I dreamed during my surgery. I don't remember what it was about, but I remember seeing wheels like old-timey buggy car wheels. Oh no. That's why I need to get used to being a mouth breather, because that happens. You want to go raid the Capitol? It is still day one, but it is now nighttime, and I just want to go over a little bit about my experience. And also, I just want to point out, I am still, like, I'm not really bruised or swollen. It's just that this thing is tight, so to keep this nose gauze up, so I do this, and then I look like a Japanese farmer is trying to turn me into a square. First night is clearly a little rough, but I mean, like, I have no nasal pain whatsoever, just, you know, slight pressure, like sinus pressure, which has been extremely easy to manage. And then the chin pain, there's a little bit of that, and numbness, of course. So I got to the OR. My check-in time was at 6:30, but the surgery time was slotted to start at 7. As soon as they take me back, there was one young man who worked there by the name of Ash, who was extremely nice and helpful, and he was telling me funny stuff to try to make me feel better. While I was looking forward to the actual, you know, procedure, the nose and all that stuff, like, fucking sign me up, I was really scared to be back in the OR. I haven't talked about this much before on my platform, but a few years ago, I had kind of like a near-death experience. Basically, I was bleeding internally for a few days due to a ruptured organ in my body, and every time I tried going to the ER for help about it, they dismissed it as woman pains. Just go deal with it at home. Take a Tylenol. And then, yeah, so it was really, really scary. So then it ruptured, and it's been bleeding internally for days. And then I finally went to the ER. They did proper imaging this time. And they're like, oh, you need to go into surgery now. And so it was a really traumatic experience that I'm still clearly not over, because as soon as I got, you know, to this very safe OR for a much better, not life or death situation, I just burst out crying because, one, like, the person who was helping me, Ash, like, he had to go help other people too. And so I just, like, I felt really alone again. And being in the pre-op area and just hearing, like, the beep of my heart monitor, and being in that blanket that has, like, the little bubbles on it to keep you warm. I think that's to help your circulation, I'm guessing. I'm not sure why they do that, but I like it. Honestly, really comfy. And plus they injected me with they said a relax cocktail, so I'm assuming it had, like, Ativan and stuff in it. Despite that, you know, like, I did physically feel less anxious, but, like, I was definitely, like, still crying, and, like, the mocos were coming out, because, yeah, it was a bit traumatic. And so even though it was a very happy day, happy occasion, I was really scared for my own personal reason. Anesthesiologist came in. He was really kind, asked me questions. He was the one who started to, like, initiate, all right, so this stuff is going to get you ready for anesthesia, so you're going to get really sleepy. And I was like, okay, I was still a little scared. Dr. Kosins came in, and, you know, he marked up my face. He had pictures of what the projected nose would look like after, that he kind of drew on. And he drew my face, he drew my nose, my chin. And I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but when I initially went to Dr. Kosins, I did not go for my chin. I went for my nose. So I was a little taken by surprise when he was like, you know what? I really think you should do a chin implant while we're at it. And at first I was like, oh boy, okay, here comes this guy trying to upsell me, you know? Your services are already, like, quite high, and understandably, you're a fantastic doctor in your profession. But then he said it would be complimentary, and that he does that for patients where he really thinks that, like, having a chin implant would help, and with the harmony of the new nose that would take place on the face, and that it would really help with, like, the balance. He does that totally for free. The price did not change regardless of whether I accepted the chin implant or not. I kind of always kept it in the back of my mind, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to get it. But then, like, the more we kind of talked about it, I was like, okay. I just went with it. Long story short, I ended up doing it, and I'm happy that I did. It's very small. It's the smallest one that they have, and it doesn't go any farther than my lips. Kind of barely noticeable. So that was the OR time. They gave me a little bit of extra time in the recovery room so that way I would get over the general anesthesia since last time, Kaiser. They kicked me out like, I don't know, 30 minutes after my surgery as soon as I could pee, even though like I wasn't fully lucid and I was still extremely dizzy and sick. They wheeled me out and they're like, peace, good luck at 3 a.m. after a traumatic life-saving surgery. Yeah, it was miserable. So for this surgery, I was like, hey, I got kind of really sick and nauseous when I woke up from anesthesia last time. Can I have like a little bit of extra time in the recovery room to make sure I'm okay? And they were like, yes. And they gave me a medicine to really help with the nausea. Me, a person who gets motion sickness very easily, who gets nauseous very easily, I have not felt nauseous once. We're post-surgery now, when prior to surgery I was eating so clean. I wasn't having like that much sodium. I was not having fast food really. I was drinking so much water. But I really think, because like, look at this, guys. I am 10 hours past my surgery. I don't have any bruising yet. And I'm sure it's gonna come a little bit, I'm sure. And especially like on my chin, because the chin, the fact that like something had to be inserted as opposed to here something was taken away, like there's a little bit of pulling right here. So I do definitely like feel some stuff here. But in terms of like up here where I've been like icing on and off constantly all day, I have had so much pineapple juice in the last 24 hours. Well, in the last 2 weeks, but a lot more in the last 24 hours. That crusty stuff under my eyes. Oh yeah, also I'm not allowed to wash my face for the next 6 days. I'm gonna try picking that off like a gross hobbit troll. I mean, I definitely have bags under my eyes because I always do. And as you guys know, I couldn't sleep the night before the surgery, so I am very tired. Is this line maybe a little bit of bruising? Yeah, I'm not really all that bruised or swollen yet. We'll see tomorrow. So this little guy right here, I got to change every few hours. It was like having a period out of your nose. It was great. Okay, I know I look ridiculous, but truthfully, I can't sleep. And now I'm starting to have these faint bruises. But I feel like they're appearing because I'm not getting rest. Remember that shower I took at the top of the video with that antibacterial soap? That was the last shower that I was able to take before surgery, because after surgery, I was not allowed to wet my hair for about a week. One, because you don't want to risk getting the bandages wet or your nose cast, but also because they grafted some cartilage from my temples and I had staples in my head, so I had to be extra careful. And then here comes Miss Eva, my beautiful little rescue. She definitely knew I felt like crap and stayed by me. You're not a parrot. And by my mom. Basically anywhere she could get treats.
For fidgeting, she's going to insult all the islanders. That's not fair, she's had 2 months practice for this.
So I just did that live stream about 3 to 4 hours ago. I had so much energy, but the thing is, I think that took all the energy that I had, and I didn't even realize it, because all of a sudden, I just started feeling it. The night of surgery, I maybe only slept 2 to 3 hours the night before surgery. And then the day after surgery, I maybe only slept to like 4 hours. I've maybe gotten like seven hours of sleep combined with both nights, with a lot of all this hoopla in between. So I think it's just catching up to me. So rest really is one of the best things that you can have when you're trying to heal. As much as I've tried to be proactive, the eating right, the drinking water, the pineapple juice, the freaking pineapple juice, it doesn't mean much if you don't get enough sleep, which clearly I haven't, and that's why I started feeling it all of a sudden. Plus, it's only the second day. I have been icing. There's that white ice pack on my head, and I've got my face pushed into some frozen vegetables. I mean, my face still isn't that bad, but you see a teeny little hint of a red bruise on my left side right there. Right. There's a teensy-weensy hint of a bruise right there. It could be a lot worse. And I'm still overall very happy with my recovery. Oh, also, since I can't breathe out of my nose at all, or smell anything, like, I can only taste like about 20%, since so much of your sense of taste comes from your sense of smell. So that has been great. I tried eating a pancake earlier because I essentially have to hold my breath whenever I swallow anything. I just had a weird swallow moment and I choked on my pancake a little bit because I couldn't breathe through my nose. And then every time I swallow, it plugs my ears too, so it's like this weird system with every single bite. I'll let you know if I feel better, if I ever even take a nap. I took a Benadryl and my antibiotics and 2 extra strength Tylenol. You'd think my ass would be put to sleep, but here we are. You know, it's also been helpful. Powder Tylenol. This one's berry flavor, extra strength. And you just do it on your tongue like this. I hate pills. So this has been so helpful. Much too good for children. I have learned that I really don't like Percocet. I'm supposed to have like one at night before going to bed for the first 3 nights, because that's when like the pain and the swelling is supposed to be the worst, and I'm still having trouble falling asleep, and I think maybe the Percocet is keeping me up now, and I hate it, and I don't like it, and I don't know why people like these things. I'm only supposed to have 3 and they gave me 48. If this is the worst bruising that I have, I get it. I'm lucky or whatever. But I sure don't feel lucky right now. Well, look who came to play. The shiner and the shiner. It is about 3 a.m. They were right. The 3rd day is the worst. To be honest, I'm quite miserable. I did that video earlier about like the Percocet, but I really have not felt okay since I've taken it. I'm starting to feel pain again in the front of my nose and a little bit the chin, but I'm only gonna take Tylenol from here on out. Well, extra strength Tylenol, because I really don't like that Percocet. It just makes me feel like shit. I guess helped me fall asleep earlier because I was really struggling. And then he hopped back on to go stream, and he was just like, "For the second you want me to come back, I'll come back. No questions asked. I'll be right back. Don't worry." I was like, okay. That made me feel secure. And I texted him multiple times while he was streaming. Because I'm just not feeling okay. Look. I'm like, "Are you almost done? Question mark. Are you coming back soon? What's up?" And he would just like say like, "Oh well, I have to do 10 more, like it's an obligation at this point. Can I just wait a little bit, please?" Yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't feel good. I thought that my mom was gonna stay more than 1 night, but I guess not. So that was kind of a surprise. I should have planned this out better, I guess. It's my fault. I know that this video is too long, but I'm alone in the living room right now and I'm a little freaked out, even though my face maybe doesn't show the freaked out part, just probably the pain part. They're both equally raging at me. I'm just doing this because I feel alone and scared. And talking to a camera feels slightly less alone. Here comes the swelling. Hello, swelling. Welcome. So, day 2 going on day 3 has been really hard. I still cannot sleep for more than like an hour or two at a time, and I think the lack of rest is seriously maybe affecting my healing a little bit, because I was doing so good, drinking lots of water, eating healthy food, drinking my pineapple juice. Well, not as much yesterday. I don't know if that has any correlation. Probably not. Definitely the lack of sleep, I bet. But yeah, it's been really hard at night. And also the Percocet that I'm supposed to be taking before bed turned on me. And last night I had a really awful night. It just made me anxious and it was miserable. And now I'm just gonna stick to the extra strength Tylenol instead, and hope that that's enough for the rest of the recovery.
It wasn't enough.
Okay, I know I should not be taking as much like video today because like today's gonna be the worst day, but I've got an update. I got to take off the little gauze right here. I got to clean the outside of my nostril a little bit with hydrogen peroxide, then I got to put ointment on it. I also had some soup, I had water, I had more pineapple juice, I had extra strength Tylenol and Benadryl, and surprise, I'm feeling a little bit better. Day 4 of recovery, and I'm still here in bed looking like shit. Tell me how you're feeling. I feel like shit. The bruising has turned yellow underneath my eyes, but at least my skin is not like super duper swollen and puffy. It's just kind of the discoloration. The Tylenol PM helped a little bit with sleep. I think I maybe slept for 3 to 4 hours instead of just 1 to 2. I'm eating well. I'm just not sleeping still. That's the hardest part. I get really anxious at night too, so it's been kind of hard spending that. Yes, there's a little bit of puffiness, isn't there? What do you guys think of the nose profile so far though? I don't know what I'm looking at. What am I wearing on my face? It's called Fashion Sweaty. Oh, look it up. Just call me a sponsor for the office because I've got staples. So it's Monday night and I don't feel good. I tried going to sleep at least like an hour or two ago, and my body just feels like really anxious and just antsy, and when I get up my vision's like a little bit blurry and dizzy, and I haven't taken like any like pain medicine since like maybe 2-3 p.m. early this afternoon. Just my antibiotic that I took a couple hours ago, but that's it. Not sure why I feel like this. I mean, yeah, obviously some of it's gonna be the pain, of course. It just feels like a panic attack a little bit, and I don't know why. I don't like it. I've been getting like little waves of this during the recovery, and of course it happens when I'm alone. I feel like the thing that I needed the most during this recovery was just somebody to just hang out with me, at least by my side. Not even necessarily do much, just being with me, just be next to me, and I haven't really had that. So it's just hard. It was my decision. I don't regret it. It's still hard though.
So the funny thing is, my swelling wasn't actually gone. I just forgot what I looked like. Oh, this part was really fun. I wasn't allowed to sneeze, at least not through my nose. So the thing is, when you have rhinoplasty, a lot of stuff in your nose gets really itchy. So I had lots of moments like this. Oh, there it goes. I had to sneeze out my mouth like an old gross man. This is me the morning that I'm supposed to get my cast off. I look way better than I did before, but definitely still quite puffy and swollen. But at least I get the cast off. Woo! And here it is, the grand reveal, and I still have bandages on. Ha 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 ha. I had to keep these on for an extra 3 days, but look! You know, I kind of like the way that it looks from the sides with the bandages on, because it kind of helped keep the shape, if that makes sense. Like, look, what a lovely little side profile. Okay, so now it's been about 3 days since my post-op with Dr. Kosins, which means I can take the bandages off. They told me Remember, this is not what your nose is gonna look like. You're still extremely swollen, so just be prepared. So I was. But from the side, you know, not bad. But from the front, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? But then sure enough, little by little, it gets a bit better every day. And even though it's still pretty swollen, I mean, look, it's not that bad. And it's only gonna keep getting better. When it comes to getting better, there's definitely an ebb and flow. So things like crying, sneezing, those set you back a little bit.
Do you want to know something interesting about rhinoplasty? The healing of the swelling is like a downward vertical pattern. So like this part loses swelling, then this part, then this part. So for now, I'm like...
And just 10 days later, look at that. And here we are, mid-October. It's been about 5 to 6 weeks. I'm happy. The fact that I still have like a pretty nice looking nose and it's only been a few weeks and it's only gonna keep getting better, I couldn't be happier. To be honest, I was really scared of getting this done. Not because I was necessarily afraid of surgery, but because I was scared of what others would think, as silly as that sounds. But I did have loved ones tell me that they wouldn't want to be a part of my life if I made a vain decision like this. And then I had other friends who, you know, would hype me up and support me, but that was hard to deal with. But, you know, just over time, I eventually just decided that I wasn't going to let anybody else have any power over my bodily autonomy anymore. Not again. So I booked the appointment. And I'm really glad I did, because it takes like over a year to get a surgery date with Dr. Kosins. And I didn't tell anyone until like a month before surgery because I was terrified. And so a lot has changed since then, but it's changing for the better. So if you're somebody who is considering rhinoplasty and maybe you have some questions that I didn't address, again, this is like a vlog kind of style video as opposed to like an AMA, but yeah, let me know if you do have any questions below that are actually about, you know, rhinoplasty. And I want to say that if you are here to just be negative, or maybe if cosmetic surgery isn't something that you're a fan of, I kindly invite you to fuck off. Bye. OMAZE is an online fundraising platform. They raise money for its nonprofit charities, and they offer sweepstakes for the chance to win once-in-a-lifetime experiences and prizes to support nonprofits around the world. You know, every 34 minutes, a wish comes true thanks to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. The Make-A-Wish Foundation grants game-changing experiences to children with critical illnesses. Not only can these wishes inspire courage in the kids, they also fill families, volunteers, medical teams, and entire communities with hope. So spread the optimism. Your support in the Miami Dreamhouse giveaway could help fuel future wishes. What's the Miami Dreamhouse giveaway? So that would entail a 6,060 square foot house with 7 bedrooms surrounded by lush greenery, or $1.8 million in cash. It's up to you. By donating as little as $10 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation by visiting the link in the description below, this prize could be yours. For your chance to win a multi-million-dollar dream house in Miami or $1.8 million in cash, all while supporting a great cause, enter omaze.com/abelina sabrina. Thank you, OMAZE, for sponsoring this video.